This is John Paul Rye. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. I saw this here on Twitter. It's about how Amber Heard was actually copying Johnny and trying to be a lot like him. And that's one thing, but the thing that really bothered me was she used her assistant's kid and Johnny's kid to gain publicity. We'll get into that. But first, let's take a look at some details about the mimicking. I'm going to give this Twitter account right here a shout out. I lost the name, so all I have is the handle, but that will be linked below. And appreciate the collection of all this material. Okay, first off, we have fashion. The years before she met Johnny, she would dress preppy with a vintage touch, and as soon as she had a fling with Johnny, she started morphing into his exact style. So there are some examples down here about the style change. Second, failed cheekbone implants. We all know Johnny has probably the most defined cheekbones, and of course Amber wanting to be the female him, she gets some cheekbone implants that unfortunately melt in her face. And I've been through this before about her plastic surgery, and something actually went wrong with the cheekbones, which you can see here, and the theory is she got them to emulate Johnny. Johnny is all known to dot his exclamation marks with an X, and suddenly so does Amber. Johnny left, Amber right. So, yeah, tiny detail there, but you don't see too many people doing that, so yeah, you can count that. Johnny has been visiting hospitals since 2007 up until now. Suddenly, after Johnny and Amber's relationship, she poses herself as a humanitarian who works mainly with kids. And we know Johnny Depp's been doing this for a very long time, like this person says, and all of a sudden, Amber starts up too. Amber has not been doing it her whole life, since she was 18, 20, something like that, after she met Johnny. So, good point. She also knew that Johnny was kid-friendly, so she decided to use her assistant's young child for pap shots and random photos that she would send to Johnny only. So let's take a look at that statement by Amber's assistant about that. Amber obviously knew that I had a young son, and in the beginning would ask me if I could bring him to her apartment so that she could bake cookies with him. I thought this was strange but sweet at first. However, I then realized that she was taking photos with him almost as a prop to send to Johnny. I felt as though my son was being used by Amber to portray herself as having maternal attributes. Often I would find Amber and her sister spending a long time getting very dressed up just to go to the Grove, a local shopping center for example. I soon realized that she must have tipped off paparazzi who would then be waiting to take photos of her. After, I would see the photos in the following week's tabloids. On one occasion, my son was used during one of these staged paparazzi shots. Amber didn't care that he was terrified. I had no idea that Amber was going to do that at the time. One aspect of my job was to go to the local newsstand and purchase multiple copies of every magazine that she was in every week. That's kind of weird as part of the job. Go out and buy the magazines I'm in. Okay. I was instructed to hide them in the garage so that Johnny wouldn't see them. Once I left some out in the apartment by mistake, and Amber flipped out at me over that. She didn't want Johnny to know how obsessed she was with her newfound increasing fame thanks to her association with him, and that's very telling right there. She's also happy, she's famous, and she's going out and flaunting it and showing it off. It's not like she's in a relationship with Johnny and she wants to stay private and keep things secret and keep things intimate. She wants to show it off and be in these tabloids. And it continues, one more thing, and as you could probably guess, there's more than one more thing. Interior design. Once again, after the relationship was confirmed between the two, Amber decided that she would throw all her old stuff out and redecorate to make her apartment look identical to Johnny's. So let's look at a little passage from that statement. So here's a statement about how Amber was redesigning her place to look more like Johnny's place. And down here, we get into the fashion a little bit more. When I first met Amber, her clothing style was what I would call preppy. Very soon afterwards, that also drastically changed almost overnight as she tried to morph into a bohemian way of dressing, wearing more and more silver jewelry, eventually adding a repertoire of hats which also appeared to be mimicking Johnny's style. And you could see here, she's always posting something to taunt Johnny. I forgot about the one where she was riding the horse that he gave her. I've never seen this one here with the ships. I'm not sure what that means. I guess it's taunting his career with pirates. There was no direct quote or anything, but I'm going to assume maybe that's what it was, and that's pretty disturbing to me. Using Johnny's son Jack to recreate Johnny and Vanessa's family picture. Thank you to everyone who reminded me of this. Okay, so Johnny has an old picture of him and Vanessa and his son and Amber laid in the same position, and she recreated that picture also and apparently posted it on social media. Anyway, I thought this was pretty interesting to go over. I've heard of people and known people who emulated rock stars, their hairstyle, their clothing style, movie stars, things like that, but I don't meet too many people who try to be like a lot like their girlfriend or boyfriend. So I found this one just a little weird, and I'm always trying to throw things out there that show Amber wasn't like quite in love with Johnny. It was something different. Obviously, there was the money part, but her being so happy and wanting to flaunt the fame she got was also a little bit odd to me. You'd think she'd want to keep things private and help somebody who's already trying not to be exposed to the public to keep things private, not flaunt things and try to get in tabloids for fun. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. Doing shoutouts, special thanks, pop culture, Depp vs. Heard. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you do subscribe, it'll be great. You'll get videos. If you don't subscribe, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.